Hey, what is up, dudes and dudettes? This is Due-Diligence here in the morning, and I gotta go to CVS and pick up some lighter for my friend. Because, I still take a $5 passage fee to CVS to get lighters. $5 is important. The inner Jew of me really just want to make that $5. It's more like taking a walk and everything. Plus, I'm poor, so I gotta go get that $5. But this is not the purpose of this video. Today we're gonna talk about, it's not really like a video talking about stuff per se. I think we're just gonna talk about a little bit about like my fears when, I'm heavily exposed to the inverse side of NASDAQ. And, there are a lot of probability work involved. There are a lot of spreads involved. And not at this moment, it's not a lot of hedging going on. Therefore, it's really tipping me off a little bit. Yesterday, I called my mother. Actually, my mother was a very supportive human being. And then later on, I called my godmother and I said, every point the NASDAQ is down, I get increasingly fearful of holding on to the position, because it's really easy to get stopped out that way. But also the inner greed and the inner hope and the inner greed, and the greed and the fear always conflict itself, and it's always fighting. And a lot of times you look at the exposure and you say, hey, is it time to stop? But at the same time, it's not really the time yet, because if we see actual selling volume exceeds the selling volume on Friday, that just means two things, right? One thing is we have extraordinary amount of put volume coming in, and another thing is people are actually selling their shares. I mean, there are multiple reasons to do that, right? We have the interest rate hike, which it's a masked thesis. Actually, it's not really something that you see every day, because all these interest rate cycle happens every 4 years, and every 4 years starts a different type of cycle, and then we have a correction. We sort of are already in the correction stage where eventually the bond and then the stock market is going to run inversely. Okay, for those of you who want to read about it, there is a book by Murphy called International Intermarket Analysis. I'll post in Discord for those of you who are interested in a read. It's essentially considered one of the trading Bibles of all time. There are 4 trading Bibles. I know a lot of new school traders don't read them, but I try to read all of them. But anyways, let's go back to this video is for me, okay? Fuck off. If you don't want to listen to this, just click off and go away now, okay? I just want to say that it's every point it's down, or every even half a point it's down, your heart starts to race a little bit, and then it's sort of like you always have this fear. Same thing as like when during a bull run, whenever it reaches like an all-time high. We're not at all-time low yet, right? But whenever it reaches an all-time high, you almost feels like, should we double down? Of course, it's gonna rebound a little bit and then do its own action a little bit too, right? But the difference between on the short side and the long side is, because for so long the odds are stacking on the long side, so when short side happens, it almost becomes like when the cookie crumbles, the castle crumbles, it just crumbles. And then we all know that all of the valuation on tech stocks, and actually what is funny is today I had a very funny thesis this morning. I was laying on my bed, I open up all my computers and then move it around, and so I can just like lay on my bed and look at the market. And then I was like, maybe it's really a good time to basically short Zoom. Why is it a good time to short Zoom? Because if you look at all of the colleges, anyways, I'll make a video on Zoom alone. This is just a reflection. I don't know, maybe 10 years from now I'll come back to this specific video and reflect upon my anxiety during the market. I know 90% of all of the mental problems or all of the mental meltdowns occurs because of like our increasing pressure on ourselves. And the more I think about it, the more I don't know, I just have this like increasing anxiety. I know like when fear accumulate is the time where you're supposed to be hopeful, right? We're taking the quote from the great investor Warren Buffett. You should be, actually it's not Warren Buffett. I think it's Richard Dennis. And Warren Buffett actually took the line from him. Basically, it means when everybody is really fearful, you should be kind of started to be hopeful. And when everybody is hopeful, it's time for you to be sort of like fear of what's going to happen and start hedging. So what I did today is I basically hedged a little bit. Let's see how that goes. But at the same time, deep down, I know that it's still, I still have a couple of 100 points to go. And the only problem is whether it's going to be a huge volatility exhaustion on the downside, like just eat it up like super fast. And then we will see some actions from different places. I mean, again, the jokes always goes this way, right? If go on CNBC or NBC or something or CNN and they invited Warren Buffett to talk, then that it's time to short the market for at least another 5 days. It's actually really consistent with the market movement. Actually, it's really funny. Like if you think about this, right? A lot of times when professors or in schools, people teach about like you shouldn't make sentiment a part of trading. And as you guys know, I didn't get into Stanford for behavioral finance or getting into MIT or Harvard for it. This is the prime reason why I'm so interested in the field, because I believe that at this point, valuation. It matters at some point. So I think the equation is, how do you value something is about 50% valuation and 50% behavior. And then if you were talking about a short-term to a medium-term sort of exposure or position, I think it's 60% behavior and 40% valuation. And yeah, I think this is it. You know what? This is probably just going to be a video. I don't know how to name it. I think it's just speaking out of my anxiety. I mean, I talked to a lot of people over the past weekend, because on weekends, on you guys don't know about this. Like, I always seem so happy and so so arrogant sometimes. Well, most of the time you will say, and being an asshole and scrub and just an ass overall. But on Sundays, I always get increasingly anxious because of the market, and sometimes I will lose sleep overnight. And then my brain just doesn't shut off. It will run like simulations in my brain. What if the shot goes this way and that way? And then I would... What is funny is my mom always make jokes of me. And she said, well, you might as well just become a robot. Because I told her that even in my dreams, I was trading. And sometimes, in the dreams where like, portfolio goes down by a lot. And, in the morning, like, you just wake up like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? And open up your computer, realize it's only 5:45. And you drink some water, and you just stare your screen for a little bit. Like I know a lot of like traders in their videos, they're like, oh my God, my day is like this. Like you wake up, brush your teeth, like trying to cheer yourself up. When I'm up, I'm just up, and then I just stare at my screens for like at least like 30 minutes, and my entire brain is just blank. Like I don't really think about anything. Like at that point, I was like point blank. And all the fears and all the foes sort of go away. But then as the market moves, it sort of accumulates over time. I hope to the future me here, this is 2022, right? To the future me, if you're going to come back and watch this video, I just want to say, hopefully you, in 10 years, you're going to be more seasoned. You're no longer going to be anxious in those kind of situations. You're not going to be on edge. And hopefully, you just think it's normal that it moves certain ways, and just at the same time, from the old me, just please trust yourself, believe in yourself, because we all know that most of the time you're right. And yeah, I think this is it. And for those of you who sometimes really make very difficult decisions in your life, and for those of you who against all odds and trying to make a living of something that you believe in, or for those of you who believe in something that a lot of people don't believe in, and for those of you who really believe in all of these niche social causes, for those of you who want to, have the dream of changing the world, even though it's only 1% chance, And I gotta say, guys, like, keep working on it. You're gonna get there. And then to future me, hopefully in 10 years, you will get there. All right, have fun, guys. I will post the regular videos. The masterclass video is gonna be on later today. I just need to make a thumbnail. For Patreon members, there's already available. Some of them already watched them like overnight. And then we're gonna talk about risk today a little bit in masterclass sort of number 2. And then we're gonna talk about a little bit of speculation on class number 3, depending on how much work I have. And because, risk, the part of risk, a lot of people highly request it. So I decided I will make the script now, I'll read it aloud. And hopefully it doesn't really take that much time to edit. And I think it would be a really good idea for you guys to listen to it as a podcast instead, rather than me putting a lot of visuals in there. Because my loyal audiences are actually over 30 years old. Instead of people who are over 20 who have very low attention span. So I think I'm all set there. And thank you so much for your support, and thank you again so much for Patreon members, especially new Patreon members. Thank you so much, because there's so much hate on social media, and you guys against all odds are supporting me. And without you guys, not a lot of things won't be possible. All right, see you guys on the upside.